many times along the way to feel small. Wasn't quite smart enough, wasn't quite pretty enough, still had my southern accent, would mispronounce words. I did a lot of work in New York for a time, and people would laugh at me. I was like, what, am I funny? But no, because I would say some redneck thing, and they would go, whoa, like, what, she didn't know what she's saying, and I didn't, right? And then I moved to Europe and tried to get my sophistication on, but it was hard, right? And so the point is, I think bravery mainly is about moving past our own perceptions of our smallness. Now, maybe you don't have that. Rock on if you don't, and give me your number so we can talk when I feel blue. But the point is that bravery to me seems more that way instead of picking myself up and then taking a step. So I'm just offering that up to you. And I would look for whatever your word is, your mantra, if you will, find a picture so you can go back to it. And that way you can have a little icon for it. That works really well for me. Maybe I learned that from my mom, right, since she used to meditate under a tree in Bearsme in Mississippi rather than come to the PTA, right? I'd want her to do brownies and come to homeroom, and she'd be off doing something else. Okay, so that's bravery. Now, I've got 3 lessons I'm going to go through. Stay with bravery. Keep your picture of that if it works for you. I'm going to talk about 3 lessons. Number 1, I want us all to accept that your potential as a human being, as a professional, as a brother, as a husband, as a friend, is your own. And the sooner you kind of sign up for that, the better. And when it comes to career potential, which is only one dimension of potential, just one dimension is career potential, professional potential. I mean, you got a landscape that's amazing. I honestly don't think I saw my options very clearly, right? Number 1, I got married the first time when I was 19, right? My husband was in medical school, so my vista of my potential was, first of all, got to make sure we can afford to get him through medical school. Number 2, need to be a good partner, because I'm from the South. Those girls were good partners, right? Good wives. And then I had to figure out all the other stuff. I don't remember thinking how big it was. Now I do. Isn't it weird, like at this stage in my life, I feel like my options are unlimited. And I bristle, this is interesting for you to hear, I bristle when I meet people in this region, this very traditional region, when they introduce themselves. Hey, my name is, I'm retired from P&G. I went, really? Why do you want to tell anyone that? Are you retired? Like, why would you do that? And you see that I've now gotten that in my head, like now, I'm like a late bloomer, like all this potential. Maybe I'd go run for senator. Why not? Let's go to public service. I've never done that. Why wouldn't I be in public service? Never too late. Why wouldn't I? Think about it. P.G. Sedenfield, first election, went for it, right? Didn't win. Okay, whatever. Here he goes. He's completely brave about it. And he wants to be in public service the rest of his life, maybe, or maybe not. Worked at Google. Then he was a councilman. Then he tries to run for Senate. I mean, I love that as an option. Now, do you have to get your degree in it? I don't know, maybe. I don't think so. I think kind of anyone who wants to be in public service can raise their hand and do it. So what about working for a big co? That's what we affectionately call large organizations. Kroger, P&G, Western Southern. Okay, there are bunches of them, right? I think that's okay. I worked for a couple. I worked for Allstate Insurance Company. I worked for General Foods, which is kind of like, Procter & Gamble. And, both of those jobs were awesome. I wasn't very employable, personally. I always wanted to, I don't know, I asked too many questions. And it's not that I fought or argued with people, because I'm from the South. I'm very graceful that way. I wasn't rude. But I'm like, this seems like you're wasting a lot of time. Like, why are you wasting all this time? Why don't we just get the job done and go into something? Right? I was always a little mouthy. That's what my grandmother would say, right? Well, so I didn't make it in Big Coast. The only time I really stayed is when I was acquired by one. And I had to stay there, right, for at least a period of time to vest my options. But I think Big Coasts are a great place to be for a while, right? That could be part of your potential. A nonprofit, especially in this region, there's some really big, fancy nonprofits here. Like the United Way, I think it's the 5th largest in the U.S., and you've got there are tons of, the Arts Wave. These are huge entities. I've never thought about nonprofit as a path, but that's a professional path. By the way, I run a nonprofit now. That's weird. When people say, you run a nonprofit, really? Oh, that's right, I do. But if I had thought about that as part of my potential, who knows what would have happened? So I like thinking that, right? I like thinking about that as a part of my potential. Now, I'm always going to vote for a startup. That's going to be me because I'm a technology startup girl, right? That's just me because I like that gritty, not what you don't know what's going to happen. One day you're up, one day you're down. So I just want you to know, in your own region here, in northern Kentucky and across the river, because it's not that far, by the way, you've got a massive set of options. And I just want you to bathe in that, right? Just put the fire hose over you, put the shower over you, and just feel all those options. Because really, the abundance is unbelievable as long as you don't fall into the smallness of your own self, right? And I don't say that to inspire you. I say that to educate you and inform you that all this is possible, right? So number one lesson for all of us is to know that you own your own potential. You can get guidance and counseling and read a blog post, but at the end of the day, it's who's better, you or you, right? That's kind of how it is. And I think that phrase is really important because you get to decide it, you get to develop it, you get to change it, you. And everyone else can be yik-yakking and communicating and guiding, and that's cool, but it's in your lap at the end of the day. And that's how I always felt. Number two, I love this. You got to find your tribe, right? Now, this one, my heart fills when I think of the tribe. Let me give you, again, a personal story. I'm from Oxford, Mississippi. I think there are 10,000 people in the town when the university's not going on, right? It's the home of Ole Miss, University of Mississippi, a small state college, right? Okay, think about it. I enjoyed the people, but they just weren't my tribe. And in fact, I just told you, I need a lot of tribes. That's what I kept moving around. I got friends in London. I got friends in San Francisco. I'm going to Boulder this weekend. I have friends kind of all over the world. How could that be? A girl from Mississippi, lower middle income family, went to Ole Miss, not with honors. How did I get that? Because I knew I wanted to experience lots of different tribes, right? I wasn't this group, right? I didn't want to be like this, same with everyone. I did have a sorority, and I was terrible at it. I was a KD. I did it one time. I thought the parties were silly. Hope this isn't offending anyone. I said to my mother and my grandmother, this is silly. We're paying money for silliness. I don't want to be part of this social club, right? It's just not me. I was more independent, remember? And I wasn't sure what that really meant, but I wasn't that. I didn't want everyone to wear the same T-shirt. I didn't like those silly buttons you'd have to wear, and all look the same. I'm like, this is silly. I didn't grow up to look like the same person and wear my hair the same way and wear those little shoes and go sit in the same. That was just silly. That was just for me. You have to think about that. Who's your tribe? Now, Elon Musk, I'm sure you know who that is. I do know him and his mother and his brother and his sister. Pretty cool. I know him the least well, but let me tell you about him. He doesn't want to be like anyone. He only wants to be like himself. And he knows he's not even close to reaching his potential. He's 47 years old. He's been married a bunch of times. He created SpaceX. He did not create Tesla. Now, you would think he did. He's not the founder of Tesla. He found an opportunity and became a major investor in Tesla. He's not the founder. A lot of people think he is because he kind of takes that on, big, big life, Howard Hughes life. Solar City, those are his cousins that own Solar City. Now, interesting, his tribe is his family. He's got 5 children. He's 47, a set of twins and a set of triplets, right? So his mother, 65, beautiful. She's a model. She's a twin. She raised all her kids, right? Herself, single mom. Now, what does that say? I'm just using kind of contrast here. I mean, this is fine if that's your tribe. Don't feel badly about it. Remember, you're going to pick the tribe based on what? Your potential, your decision around the potential, right? I just want you to keep that clear, right? You're going to pick that tribe because of your potential. So if there's something about your potential that gets better developed because of that tribe, the security of the tribe, the connection to the tribe, then rock on with that. But if you don't want to dilute your potential, right, to just be part of the tribe, because it may be that you just have to be on your own and stand out or have many tribes around every place, right? And I think that's a really important lesson because sometimes you have to break away from your tribe. My girlfriends in California, I lived there for 9 years in San Francisco. They think I've lost my mind, me coming to Cincinnati. They're like, what? You're going where? Where's that? The Midwest? Do you know anyone there? Is your family? No. They're like, I just don't get it, Wendy. Like, why would, I said, 'cause I just want to experience a new thing. I've never been in the Midwest. It seems like it has a lot of potential. Not just it, but me too. Why wouldn't I? Can I tell you how much I've learned being here? It's amazing. I'm writing a screenplay to play it out creatively. My mom will be happy, right? But here's the thing. Lesson number 2, find your tribe. After you've thought through your potential. Got it? 2 lessons. I'm going to go to my next one. It's all good. Okay. This is a little bit more pragmatic, so we'll get points for this one. So it's about the experiences. It's not about the career. It's not about the job. It's about the experiences of play, relationship, and work. So let me share with you an exciting thing for you. And this excited me the most when I was channeling you and trying to be you today. The work is so different. The future of work is so different than it used to be. It's amazing. Why? Because the command and control and structure that was put in place 30 and 40 years ago is breaking down. Not in a way that's crazy-making. Well, in some industries. In others, it is crazy-making. But work is different. It's more agile, right? It's more virtual. It's more flexible. It's less organized. It's less, well, you're my employee, and I'm your employer. It's just not like that anymore, which is not to say you don't have a responsibility or accountability to me, by the way, right? It's just different. This book is a must-read, and it's an easy read. So this is not a head-scratcher, go do a book report. This is Reid Hoffman. Who knows who Reid Hoffman is? Founder of LinkedIn. You know what LinkedIn is? The largest professional network in the world. Facebook, largest social network in the world. LinkedIn, founder Reid Hoffman. 2 of my mentors and mentees co-wrote this book with him. And one of them has come actually to Cincinnati to speak. Ben Kasnoka and Chris Ye. And these guys, I think Ben is 20-something, 3, 4, 5, in that range. Chris Ye is 35. And Reid is, I don't know, I guess he's in his 50s, give or take. Reid started many companies. He was an investor in Facebook. I mean, he's an investor in Twitter. This is a billionaire. But the most important thing is these guys got together, different age groups, right? Kind of similar generations in a way. And they said, work is changing. It's done. The old way is over. No one wants to go through a 50-page personal review, right? Write it up. No one wants to do that. Big companies or small companies. No, I don't want to do that. I want to have quick check-ins. I want you to give me feedback. What to keep, what to change, be specific. Let's go. That's it, right? And that ongoing process of feedback is very critical. You realizing you don't have to sign up forever. This is not about loyalty. Work is not about that anymore. And by the way, this is hard for employers, let me tell you. But when I would hire someone at one of my startups, and I'm loyal, I'm from the South, like I'm loyal. Like it matters that you're with me, that you've made this choice. And I found myself like being sad when someone would like move on. I'm like, what's wrong? Because they'd say, Wendy, what's wrong? Don't be sad. I've vested. I'm moving on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Right? Because this is like hard work, right? And they're not going to stay forever. Why would they? Because in a startup land, you vest your options and you move on because you want more options in another company, right? It's the way it works. It's equity land. The point is, this book will outline so beautifully for you, or give you a taste. Forget the outline word. It'll give you a taste of what I have experienced in work in the last 10 years, which is completely different from what I experienced in the first 20. And it's much more fun. And it's also harder. It's harder because you don't control me, right? There's a contract we have, but you don't control me, right? Yet you, if you're my employer, you do have a responsibility to develop me, not only so I can perform in this position, but also so I can perform when I get to my next one, which may not be here. Now, how about that? This is the philosophy of Silicon Valley. And I learned it the hard way. And I'm trying to bring that perspective here so people don't feel sad or mad if they have a tour of duty that's 24 months. Right? Say, look, I'm in for 24 months. I'm going to learn as much as I can, and I'm going to contribute in ways that you will be amazed by. I can't make a commitment beyond that because I'm not sure. It's a possibility. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I just want you to know there's another way, right? Not every employer has this way yet, but I want you to be exposed to it. It's important. It's critical. It's essential for you to expose to it because otherwise you could be confused if you work for a startup. Or you could be confused if you went to work for Facebook because you'd say, ooh, this seems like loosey-goosey, Southern word for unstructured. It's because it is, because this is the philosophy they carry. So, to me, lesson 3, it's all about the experiences you have with work, in relationships, in places, right? And as I have traveled around the world for work, I've tried to stay present like what those experiences were and do an inventory that says, how have they informed my next stage